Filming outdoors sounds great. There's plenty of natural light. But the reality is outdoor lighting can be complex. The principles are straightforward, but the equipment required can quickly become large and expensive. Direct sunlight is very harsh, especially in the middle of the day. So you'll need a diffuser placed between your subject and the sun. The diffuser will soften the sunlight evenly on your subject's face. Depending on the position of the sun, the number of people in the scene, and the width of the shot, this can become a real task. Hanging an 8x8 frame 7 feet in the air will require a heavy stand, a large frame, and many sandbags to keep it steady. I recently shot a series of interviews outside late morning, and by keeping the shot pretty tight, I was able to use, as you can see on this picture, a fairly small diffuser above my subject's head. All I needed was a light stand to hold it, and we didn't have any sandbags, so we used equipment cases that we laid on the stand's leg to just hold the whole thing steady. Now remember to be careful when using small diffusers. Any type of wind will move the diffuser out of the way and reveal some really harsh lighting on your subject. So you want to use the largest possible diffuser just to give yourself some room. The next step is to balance the intensity of the background with the brightness of your subject. Ideally, you can pick a location where the background is not in direct sunlight. In my case, most of the background was shaded, but part of the building was a little bit in direct sunlight. So what I needed to do was to adjust my camera setting to expose the background. So I used my false color monitor and I lowered the exposure so that those bright spots are on the very edge of clipping. Now I do that way before the subject comes in. You can also set up an ND net behind the subject to cut the intensity of the background light. They were great, but again, you'll need some very heavy stand, some sandbags, and a large frame to hold the net. All of that needs to be big enough to fill the entire shot and keep the stand out of the frame. So for me, that was not an option. Now that the background is exposed, we don't want to touch our camera settings anymore. We can bring our subject and we'll need to add lights to raise the brightness level on her face to the correct level. Now we can do this a couple different ways. We can use large HMI lights specifically designed for outdoor use, but again, this will make your production more complex and costly. You'll need a power source like a generator to power the lights, more stands, more people. In my case, I was able to use the sun as my light source, using different bounce boards and reflectors. You can see one right here, a small one that we use on the ground, and that's pushing lights to her face to reduce the amount of shadows around her neck. For our main light source, our key light, a white bounce board was just not enough. It didn't push enough level to her face. A silver reflector was almost way too much, and it was way uncomfortable. There's no way we would have been able to shine that into her face and conduct a normal interview. So what we did is, you can see it on this picture, we have our silver reflector here, and we set up a diffuser. This is a diffuser, this is not a bounce one. We're shining the light from the silver reflector through the diffuser onto her face. And you can see it on this picture here. Here is the silver bounce, and it's shining through this diffuser here. This setup turned our harsh silver reflector into a large soft light source. With this setup, we just needed to move the diffuser away from the subject to reduce the amount of light, or closer to her to raise the level. So we went back to our false color monitor, and by looking at the monitor, we simply move the diffuser closer to her until we achieve the correct level on her face. Outdoor lighting and indoor lighting share the same objective, to achieve the correct level and separation ratio between highlights, midtones, and shadows. I hope this was helpful. Feel free to share some of your outdoor setups. Thanks a lot for watching until the end, and as a token of my appreciation, I'd like to offer you my free camera setting cheat sheet. Just follow the link below to download the free cheat sheet. Thanks again for watching, and happy filming.